This is probably the most accurate depiction of Jesus ever painted. And what's crazy about it, it's that it was painted by a toddler. On a July afternoon of 1994, a girl by the name of Akiane Kramarek was born in a tiny shack. She was born into a completely atheist family, and what's even more bizarre is that she seldom had any human interaction. So it's not like anyone told her or influenced her in any way. And as she began to grow up, her mom, who was a Lithuanian immigrant, started to notice something weird about her daughter. She would tell her mom that she was seeing things, but every time her mom went to look, there was nothing there. She would then just suddenly, like clockwork, start waking every morning at 4 a.m. and just starting to murmur some weird things that were so bizarre to the mom, and she'd never heard anything like this before. And obviously, seeing this happen to their little girl, their parents were really worried. Now, by the age of 6 years old, these visions that this girl was having had gotten so out of hand that little Akiane could just not contain herself anymore. She just needed to put this out into the world. So now, this 6-year-old girl was waking up at 4 a.m. like clockwork, and instead of doing her weird murmurs, she would just drew on the floor, on the walls, on the tables, just anything where she could get her hands on. And she wasn't just sketching anything. Now, what she was sketching was something that was completely unexplainable and added more and more to their concern. Because how could she know any of these things, being that she was just a 6-year-old child? This went on for another couple of years, and the family really just didn't do anything about it, other than, of course, just trying to supply her to the best of their ability with like books to draw into and canvases, so she wouldn't actually be drawing on the entire shack. So this little girl kept growing, and by the time she was 8 years old, something really bizarre happened. And it was something that would change this little girl's life and their family's life forever. Because this little girl had begun to see someone in her visions. This was someone that she didn't really recognize, but she just knew that she had this overwhelming sense of love and just devotion towards. And she just knew that she had to paint this man. She needed to bring her face into real life. But you see, this little girl, she had never painted a person before. So she's begging her mom to please help her find someone that she could just sit in there so that she could paint them, and she could put the face of this man on this person's body. When all of a sudden, you hear this knocking sound on the door. And on the other side of that door was the carpenter her mom had called to fix in some things around the house. But as soon as she opens the door, Akiane just euphorically yells, "It's him! That's him!" Because that carpenter, he bore a very uncanny resemblance to another carpenter, although you may know him better as Jesus Christ. She did go on to paint this carpenter and overlapped his face with the one of Jesus in her visions, and that turned into what historians would call the most accurate depiction of Jesus ever painted. Akiane eventually sold the painting to a spiritual gallery for $850,000 and got her family out of poverty. She still paints to this day, and you can't buy her paintings from her online gallery. Moral of the story being, don't judge someone on how things seem on the outside, because that little girl had beautiful visions, but to everyone else, they were scary. If you enjoy this type of content, consider following the page, and thank you for watching.